Welcome back to the Trading Alchemist, everyone. Hope you're having a good weekend. It is March 1st, 2026. It is Sunday, and I'm recording this because I want to talk about what's been going on in the chart, but specifically, I want to talk about one thing, the big candle. Okay, so first of all, let's kind of just catch up real quick where we left off. So we left off somewhere around here last time, and I gave a big plan to what I was looking to do. So let's zoom up real quick just to kind of like follow up and see where we are. So far, we seem to be making this, it seems to start, it's looking like it's still working its way down. Now, here we go. More, I don't know what this is called. Is this a lower high? I believe that's a lower high, right? So we're still trickling around, and you can see there's kind of this trend line that's forming right over here. But we are still in this zone right over here. This is our zone. We are still stuck in the upper end of this range, okay? So if we do break down here, I would expecting to come down here somewhere, okay? Again, the plan, I'm just kind of going over the plan, but here's what I really want to show you. I want to talk about this concept because I can show you patterns all day, right? But that's showing you the pattern doesn't actually teach you how to play the pattern. And that's one thing that I want you to start to learn here, right? Is how to play the pattern. So we already understand that if you get over here to the high, right, this is probably a good area to short. And we already know that if we are over here in the range low, we probably should long or buy, one or the other, buy, sell, right? But I want to talk specifically about candles that look like this. When there is this candle that goes and kind of runs rampant. Now, in one of the other videos, what I was saying is that I wasn't paying attention to this candle right here. And there was a reason why I wasn't paying attention to that candle. Because it moved up very fast. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move over to the Ethereum chart because the Ethereum chart actually shows it very well. This move right over here was about it's about an 18% move that it made. And these candles were big and fast, right? So what happens? Let's say that you were to see this candle right over here and you would see it right here. Is that a trigger to buy? Like, is that the time to buy in? Well, in hindsight, no. But when it's happening at the time, it becomes really confusing, especially depending on what time frame you're looking at, right? So what I want to talk about is exactly how, some of these candles work. And if we go down to the 15-minute candle, the 15-minute, you could see here that this candle here, there are 3 candles that make up this huge move that was done. But look what happens afterwards, right? And then there's this bounce up and go. And again, there's a large candle over there. So I got this note that I wrote down that I want to share with you guys. Okay, so let me just pull it up real quick. Okay, so here's the note. If you see a big price move that does not seem explained, very important, by a bunch of other factors, there is a bet that that move will reverse. The reason why is because it's an ineffective trade. It's not effective. So let's jump back over to the charts and take a look exactly what that saying is, and is it real, right? So anything that I'm saying, please don't take my word for it. Just go back and look at the chart. You have all the information there, and maybe you'll see something different. On your end, it's very important that regardless of what information you get, you go back and verify it, or else you could be led down the wrong path. So here it is right over here. Look at these candles, and look what happened. This wasn't an explained move. You can't explain it. Really, one of the moves that were done was right over here. This move was before the State of the Union. It moved down, right? And I said in the video that I feel like they used that as a reason to dump the chart. And that's just the way these algos work. That's the way these people work. They use reasons to dump it, but it doesn't mean that they can't buy back in. And that's the important thing that you have to grasp. Just because somebody sells doesn't mean that it's forever. It could be just momentarily. So here it is working its way back up. And then all of a sudden, shoot, boom. This feels like a great move. But now look what it's doing afterwards. Look, if I were to measure right over here where this came down, look at this. So again, that saying that I have there, if you see a big move that does not seem explained by a bunch of other factors, there is a bet that price move will reverse. Now the question is, why is this so inefficient? Why is this inefficient? Well, when somebody sits here and buys into the chart that looks like this, they are the target. They didn't hide it enough. You don't want to be super visible inside the chart. You don't want to be the whale that is sitting there and saying, hey, look at me, I just bought a huge chunk. Because what happens is these guys down here are probably good traders, really good traders, and they just made a ton of money. So they take profit and they keep taking profit. Whatever, they keep taking profit. And then this guy could probably turn around and say, wait a second, I just lost a lot of money. I'm going to just take my money and then try to get in lower. That's not the way that you should be trading. What you need to be trading is DCAing in. So if you had a large amount of money, your trade should actually look similar to this. And if they retrace a little bit like this, then you keep on stacking. You keep on stacking your way in, just like this. And if it retraces a little bit more, again, what you're doing is you're moving the chart, but you're moving the chart so that you can efficiently get into the position, not be a target. So this, if you had a ton of money, is probably the best way for you to get in because it cuts this whole loss that's being done right from the very beginning. This is inefficient trading. So when you see those candles, it's usually meant as a trap. Now, I want to go over to the meme coin world for a second because the meme coin world, you can actually see it very, very clear. This whole concept that I'm saying about these big candle moves being inefficient trading, I'll show you. So let's go take a look at this one. I'm just going to randomly choose one here. So here we go. This is it right here. Let's take a look at this. Now I'm on the 1 second chart. And the reason why I'm on the 1 second chart is because you can actually see these candles that have inefficient moves on them. These are pretty big moves that it's doing. So if you take a look, look at this. See this? In an instant. A lot of these moves are not really explained. And they end up coming all the way back down to the bottom, right around here. And as I start like shuffling through these, you could see how it works. Now, let's go out to the 15 minutes so you can see even more. So here's the 15-minute chart. And now if you look, this is a pretty big move up right here. And then you've got this really big candle. And look what happened. Look exactly what happened. It went all the way back down and even more so right over here. So it actually covered both of these candles together. Now, let's look at one more chart so that we can kind of like nail this on the head, right? And then you can go ahead and look at whatever you want at that point. So let's choose, I don't know, I'll go down to one of these lower ones here. I don't even know. Some of these are scams. Some of them are not. Actually, 99.999% of them are scams. But take a look. Here, you got this move here. See that big candle? Look how it retraced back to the bottom right over here. The concept is still the same, right? Look at this candle. This candle right over here was a really big move. But look what it did. It retraced and some. So if there's no real explanation why it's doing any of this stuff, then you can surely bet that this is going to retrace. Now, how does this help you? Well, again, if I give you a trend line and I tell you that this is what the pattern is, and then it breaks and then it comes back over here, you should start to figure out exactly how to get ahead of any of those moves that are there. This big candle that formed, you don't buy right over here. Unless you're trading the trend, you don't buy over there. You have to wait for it to retrace. And if there is absolutely no information there, the best place for you to buy is where it originally came from. So anyway, next time you see a big candle, don't get so excited because most likely it'll retrace right back down to where it came from. This is where you want to get excited. All right, guys, talk to you soon.